Hello, I want to draw your attention to a course which will be running in the next few weeks in Loughborough, but run by my very dear friend Bettina Lange, which is called What is the Point of Philosophy? And it looks at philosophy as a system of thought. Now, first of all, you could actually say that philosophy, asking what the point of philosophy is in itself a philosophical question. And for me, I would say that you don't need to ask what the point of philosophy is, because philosophy is just what you do. It's sort of why you're here almost. But obviously some people do think that there is more of a point, or there needs to be a point to it. It looks first of all at philosophy as a system of thought, that is a way of drawing valid conclusions from valid premises, of analysing experience and analysing basically ultimate questions, the most important questions that there are, more or less, and the most fundamental questions that there are. It looks at it as a tool in various different contexts, for example, as a method of understanding human existence. Now, that may sound mystical, but there are other approaches. It particularly focuses on existentialism, which is the belief that existence precedes essence and that we are constrained to be free and that life is ultimately meaningless, but that is potentially quite a liberating realization. And as well as that, it looks at it as a tool for clarifying concepts, something that I'm personally very keen on because I practice philosophical counselling. So, for example, I might ask somebody, when you're looking in the mirror, what is the image that you have of yourself? How do you know, for example, if you have an eating disorder, that you are overweight or underweight? How does that happen? Do you have a mental image of that? That would be an example of a way of clarifying a concept. Another way in which a concept might be clarified might be in work, as a way of looking at, for example, the way a child might be learning and how that might be improved and what their understanding of the world is. I'm not going to say that that's exactly what Bettina is going to be looking at in the course, but that's the sort of way in which you might clarify a concept. You might have a vague idea of something, but you can actually turn it into a proper, rigorous and systematically understandable concept by applying philosophy to it. And it can also be an aid to scientific inquiry. There are various approaches to what science is as far as philosophy is concerned. For example, the question is, when you come up with a theory and you test that theory, are you using an inductive process? Are you saying because of all things have been like this up until now that everything will always be like that? Or is it more a question of subtracting that experience and saying, for now this is true? Or is it a case of looking at what your instruments do? Or is it a case of going along with the entrenched opinion until there's the possibility of overthrowing that opinion? And then there's the question of the search for meaning and truth. That's obviously been addressed by religion in the past, but it can also be addressed philosophically. And of course, philosophical issues do arise within religion, but you don't have to find religion important to find those questions important either. And finally, it can also be used as a way of arriving at rules for morality. Many people would say, for example, that good is defined by that which maximizes the greatest happiness of the greatest number, or they might say that it is that which can be done by everybody. What if everyone did the same? And if that's possible, as opposed to advisable, then that makes it right. But then there's the question of description. Or maybe it's something that we intuit, it's something that we feel strongly about, it's something that we disapprove of and want other people to disapprove of, and so forth. So those are the basic areas which are going to be covered in the course, and I would strongly advise you to look at the details below on this video and enroll for this course, because philosophy, to me at least, is one of the most important things about my life, and I think that you would be perhaps living a better life if you examine your own life, and that makes it worth living, as Aristotle said, if he existed. And so, if you like this video, please rate, comment, share and subscribe, and if you dislike it, please tell me why so I can improve, and please enroll for this course if you're in the local area, and I'll see you tomorrow.